Welcome to M&A Mondays, the UK's first YouTube series dedicated to all things M&A. From interviews with the leading figures in the industry, to coffee chats with analysts, diversity panels, all the way through to workshops, we'll be covering it all. We do hope you enjoyed the video, and please give us a like and a follow on our social media. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of brand new M&A Monday series, the UK's first YouTube series dedicated to all things M&A. My name is Nikola, and I'm Energy and Power Analyst and Events Officer of the group, and I'm joined today with Mia, the Head of Events of the UCL M&A Group. Together, we are delighted to announce our new guest, Valentina Titova. Valentina graduated with a master's degree in international economics at the Moscow State Institute of International Relations. She then started her career at BNP Paribas, working at Moscow in the corporate finance team. After that, she covered different sectors and regions, from oil and gas in the Middle East to the TMT team. She is currently a director working at BNP's London office. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi, Valentina. How are you doing today?
Hello, nice to talk to you, and it's good. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're doing great as well.
Yeah, really good. So first question, during your time at university, you started an internship in audit at KPMG. What was it that made you decide to go from auditing to investment banking instead?
Yes, this is true. I did a summer internship at KPMG in audit team, and this was like my first working experience. And I found it very useful and interesting back then. It was very short. It was just like a summer internship for 2 months, but it allowed me to test the theoretical knowledge of accounting and to apply it on practice, which was very good experience and very useful going forward. And then it was also like a first experience for me when I worked in a large corporate, and I was like a part of the team working on a project, which was also very interesting. But I think for me, my dream was always to build a career in investment banking. Back when I was still in the university, some of my friends, they already started working in M&A teams and as interns in different banks in Moscow. And I saw how exciting and dynamic it was, despite being like very long hours for them. And I always wanted to try it and see it for myself. So I always planned that my second step should be to go and try an M&A. And so my second internship was with BNP Paribas in Moscow as an intern in the M&A team, and I fell in love with it. I think it suited my personality much better, and this is probably why I'm still doing this business after more than 10 years now. And in terms of the reasons why, I think, so first, I like a lot what we're doing in M&A, and it's very challenging and dynamic. It requires a wide set of skills and knowledge across different disciplines. You constantly learn and stretch yourself. And well, every process, every deal is not the same as the previous one. So you always have new problems you need to solve. You need to solve them quickly. And so this drive and adrenaline of the job, it never goes away. So it's really a cool thing for me. So secondly, a very important element for me is people I'm working with. So here you're working among driven, smart people who also enjoy the work they're doing. So you're sharing the same passion, and you're also working in a very competitive environment. And this pushes you to grow faster and learn faster. And on another side of this people topic, as part of an execution process, very early in your career, you get exposure to top management of clients because of the type of the deals and the level of decisions which are being taken. So this is required. And you see how they think about their business, their strategy. And I think this is very beneficial, and it helps you to develop this strategic thinking and vision as well early enough. And I don't think that many other professions can offer this actually. And well, last but not least, when you're working on these deals, so every deal is a very transformational and important step for the client. And it's great to feel that you were part of this process, to see your contribution and how you can help and make a difference there. So I think that's why I liked it 10 years ago, and I still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's great to hear that you're like, that's still what got you into the industry, is what you still enjoy about it. Speaking of like starting off your career, you started off in 2009 at BNP, straight off the back from the 2008 financial crisis, which was a really tricky time for the industry as a whole. Do you think that's shaped you as a banker? And in what way, if so?
It's a good question. I don't think I ever thought about it this way, but well, I think it probably did. It had an impact. I think when you start at the bottom, you understand better the cyclicality of the business, and probably it shapes more realistic expectations. You understand that activity won't always be on like high end, but at the same time, it's not going to be at the bottom always. So I think it taught me to be patient and optimistic about the prospects. And once you've gone through the cycle, you don't perceive, like if the next downturn happens, you don't perceive it as something extraordinary. You don't get like demotivated by it. So I think in this way, it helped me to kind of shape this like more realistic view, and to be more enthusiastic about the future, even if it like goes down and it's gloomy. I think if you like in terms of like career, I think it also gives you a bit well, it probably a bit more optimistic to think about it, that well, there is always some opportunities there, and even when the market goes down, well, it's not going to stay down forever. Like rather quickly it goes back again, the level of activity picks up and so on. So it's like for people who are like at the beginning of their career, it shouldn't be a discouragement.
And just following up from what you previously mentioned, like majority of the people in the investment banking industry, they look for exit options and moving to different banks early on in their career. But what has it been like for the M&A and BNP Paribas in specific that kept you in the industry and with the firm for more than 10 years?
Well, I like working at BNP Paribas. I think we have a great base here, and it provides all the necessary tools for your career growth and development. We have great people who are very professional and knowledgeable with a lot of experience behind their back. We also have a great culture and team spirit, which is very important, as I already mentioned. And well, I think especially it is important for people like in M&A, because we tend to spend a lot of time with each other, and it's better to kind of click with the people. And well, now we spend much less time because of the working from home, and I should admit I miss my team. I can't wait to go back to the office. But well, I'm not going to lie that there were certain moments when I felt that I wanted a bit of a change. I think it's normal. It happens to everyone. But firstly, I think the dynamism of the job gives you the feeling of this novelty, and the work is never routine. So it like takes this element to a certain extent out. And then secondly, I had an opportunity to move internally, and I'm very grateful to BNP Paribas for that. So we have a very wide platform with offices across many countries. And as you mentioned, you saw it from my CV, I worked, first I started to work in Moscow in Russia, and then I had an opportunity to move to London and move in London a bit across different teams within the M&A platform. So this, I think, was a great opportunity for me. And like every time I had this like little desire for some little change. I think I managed to find it internally, and well, I'm still enjoying being here.
Perfectly following up from that last thing that you mentioned, how did you find the transition between the Moscow and the London office? And did you notice any cultural differences? And how has the firm supported you throughout that transition?
I don't think there were any cultural differences. I think for me it went very smoothly. Of course, when you join a team, you need a bit of time to get used to people, to learn how they work, and to develop a level of trust. But this is, I think it will be the same if you're just like moving in one country, like in one organization, or like across different organizations. It's always the same. But so for me, when I moved from Moscow to London, I've already spent 3 years working in an M&A team in Moscow, so I was not like new to the bank, and because of specificities of the processes we're working on. So we always speak with our colleagues in different offices. So, for example, when we're working on a cross-border deal, we would speak with our colleagues, I don't know, where it is required in Paris, or I don't know, in office in Hong Kong or in US. So it depends. So we know each other like really well by the phone, because we will work as like one team, very integrated. This is one thing. So like through my work, I already knew many people here when I moved. And then in order to support also the development of this like global team feeling and network, like the bank organizes a lot of trainings and team building events. And for example, for new joiners, there is a training in Paris which is being organized. So like for like first year analysts, they spend usually 2 weeks in Paris, and apart from some educational and training program, they have also some team building events. And this helps also to know people across different offices and teams, and like build up your network. And in this way, also for work, it just makes it easier. You can pick up the phone more easily if you have a question, and reach people than if you don't know anyone. And you can obviously move easily across offices without experiencing any like cultural shock.
Lovely, that's great. That's really great to hear. So you've kind of touched on it already. You've worked in both regional teams covering Russia and now the UK, but also you've kind of worked in some sector teams such as TMT. Could you talk us through some of the differences between working in a regional team or a sector team, and which kind of the two do you find more interesting, and why?
Well, I think it depends a lot on individual preferences and in which stage of your career you are. I find it very interesting and exciting. Well, and also what I can see for like many people who join, like at the beginning of their career, they really want to learn and see many things quickly. So when you're in a geographical team, this allows you to see different sectors and like to see different business models. Well, it's complicated and challenging because you need to be like a little expert in every field, and you need to build up this knowledge quickly. which is not an easy task. But well, we have industry groups to support. You are not like alone to build up this knowledge. You have some starting base, and then it's just like for you to see how deep you want to go. But then, well, when you don't know and when you just start, I think this is a great start, and you can see if you have a specific interest in any industry, if there are certain things which you like or don't like. So, but you can have like this broad view. And then, like with the career progression, some people they prefer to go to certain sector and just to stay there. But sometimes you can still do the same geographical coverage or like multi-sector coverage. And then, like when you start, I think the type of work you would be doing in the industry group and in a geographical team, it would be rather similar. But then when you grow, there are more differences to it. And so, for example, as a geographical team here, like at a more senior level, especially, we will be more focused on advising on like deal process and structure, while industry group will be more covering like these sector specific topics, like what our competitors are doing, I don't know which companies, yeah, like who has which strategy in terms of M&A in this sector. So that's just like a bit different aspects we're covering. But again, so we're working like hand in hand always. And usually I think at first people may, I think it's really beneficial to have like this broad view at the first stages of your career. And then usually people decide for themselves, depending on preferences, what they like.
Yeah, amazing. And also obviously at the moment we're seeing a huge drive for kind of more diversity within the investment banking industry. And kind of as a woman in the industry, how have you found it with it being a traditionally male industry? And what kind of support networks are in place at kind of BNP Paribas and in the industry more generally for kind of not only women, but kind of more diverse professionals as well?
Well, yes, indeed, the industry is traditionally male. And I think I was lucky. I never felt any disadvantage or I had any constraints or concern in this topic. I think I get along pretty well with my colleagues, be it female or male. And well, I think in general, as long as you are doing a good job and you're motivated, it doesn't really make any difference. Well, I never experienced any difference, and I don't think that like my female colleagues had any issues either. I think we would share like the same view on this. In terms of the gender balance, yes, indeed. So I think now it's so the topic is hot, and I think now the situation is becoming better because there is a lot of efforts, not only here at BNP Paribas, but I think across all companies, like large corporates or financial institutions, to promote this. And at the entry level, we keep the balance. So I can see that at the entry level, there are more female candidates coming in and joining. So I think this is a great dynamic. In terms of like different organizations to support and promote this. So now in BNP Paribas, we have a number of UK employee networks to support diversity, not only on gender topic, but more broadly as well. So one of them is called Mixed City, which is gender equality network. And it operates across different locations, not only in the UK. And so they organize different events and discussions to address the topic and to maximize the involvement of women and men in the dialogue to understand the concerns and how it can be solved. And for example, every year on the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day, so organize different discussions and panels and they invite speakers to address all potential topics which female can face in the workplace. So I think that this is really helpful, because sometimes, you think about, if you don't have like people to discuss certain concerns, you think that it's just typical for you. But then when you see like some little aspects of it being discussed widely, it actually helps to understand that first it's not only your concern, and then that it can be solved more easily, probably. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you for that. For our last question, what would be your top advices for young people looking to apply to roles in investment banks?
Um, well, first of all, I think motivation is the key, and the level of motivation and eagerness to learn is very important for us. So as long as you have this, I think the rest is should be fixed easily. So in terms of like some practical advice when you're trying to go to interviews, so the key thing is just like to be prepared. And I think now there are so many resources online with different like Q&As and I know materials which would help you to understand what kind of questions will be asked and what you should be expecting. So then also to do research on the company, which will show that you're interested and you did your homework. It always speaks highly. And so when we're interviewing people, so it's always appreciated that like some time was dedicated to it, and like the person is really interested in joining. And then I think once you are through this entry phase, I think the key is to remain curious, to challenge yourself, and this would like always help you to excel in the future. And I think, by the way, so this initiative which you are doing with M&A Hub is great. I think we also tell to our analysts that they need, like, even if they're not working on a deal, but they can see something going through in the news, they just should also like stay curious about things and just try and read about it, even if you don't understand like certain like details or technical aspects of it. It still helps you to build up your knowledge. And I think in general, just being like curious and passionate about these little things which you are doing and trying to find something in there which you would like and challenge yourself, it would always help.
Well, I just want to thank you again, Valentina, for taking out your time to speak to us today and for all those great answers and insights. I really do believe that our viewers will greatly benefit from them. And for our viewers, please do consider of subscribing to our channel and liking this video.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you a lot for your questions. It was very interesting for me. And again, I think the initiative you're doing is great.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you.